Hi, my name is Russ Kellum from Kunes Buick GMC of Stoughton, Wisconsin, and today we're going to show you how to replace an air filter on a 2020 GMC Terrain. To do this job, you'll need some basic hand tools. You'll need a Phillips screwdriver, preferably with a little length to it here so you can get down to the screws. You can also use a 7mm socket with an extension and a ratchet. To begin with, we'll start by taking the 4 screws that hold the cover on the air cleaner assembly. So this vehicle has a screw at each corner, and we're not going to take it all the way out of the cover. We're just going to loosen it enough that it's out of the lower plastic housing. Be very careful not to lose these screws. And now that the screws are loose, we can gently lift the cover up and kind of twist it out of the way. And once we've done that, we can reach down with the other hand and pull the filter out. Be very careful if it's very dirty. You don't want to get a lot of that dirt airborne. You don't want debris flying around inside here, and I'll explain in a little while why to watch out for that. So once the filter is removed, you want to look inside the lower half of your filter housing, and you want to inspect it for large chunks of debris or other free-floating fuzzies and things that are going to clog up your new filter. And you want to possibly get in there and use a shop vac and get in there and vacuum out the debris. Otherwise, all that stuff is just basically going to plug up your new filter. So we have our old filter out here, and you can see here we have our new filter. The new filter is supposed to have this kind of a foamy, fibrous kind of a coating on it. And you can see someone has actually removed it from this filter. Somebody probably checked the filter, saw how dirty it was, and just instead of replacing it, they just took it off to buy a little time. So what we're doing here is we're just going to show you this is how it's supposed to look, and this is the condition of it. This vehicle has about 60,000 miles on it, and I could tell you this is probably the very first time this filter has been changed. So now that we have it out, we can talk about why it's important to replace this every 30,000 miles or so. Some vehicles actually do have an air filter monitor now, and when you replace these filters, you would have to reset your monitor on the dashboard. This one does not have that feature. So when these filters get dirty like this and all this debris builds up, what can happen, especially like when you're replacing the air filter, some of that debris and all these little chunks of leaves and debris can actually go into this intake this intake air tube and can get stuck in this little sensor right here, which is the mass airflow sensor. And we see it quite a bit where somebody will come in for a service and they'll say my check engine light is on, and I don't understand why. I just had an oil change and I had an air filter replaced, and now my check engine light's on. I would say 9 times out of 10, there's a little chunk of debris, a little cottonwood or dogwood seed or something like that was dislodged when somebody was changing the air filter, and that can actually get in the sensor and plug up the little orifice in there, and it'll mess up your computer. So we want to be very careful when we're doing this job here that we don't disturb too much and we don't kick up a lot of loose debris and get it downstream here. So now that we have the air filter in our hand, we're going to take a look and we're going to find the locating tab, which is right here. And this is going to line up with a little slot on the top of the box here, and there's a tab or a little slot right here on the bottom of the housing. And we've already gone ahead and cleaned out our lower housing so we don't have any debris down in there that's going to plug up our new filter. We're going to set this new filter in straight down. So we're going to come at it from the top, and we're going to go straight down so that that little fibrous material gets pushed around evenly around all 4 corners, and we're not bunched up. So that way it can do its job. And this is in the locating slot right here in the lower housing. Now we're going to move our upper cover straight above all 4 holes in the lower housing. If you don't go straight down at it, the screws will kind of get stuck on the outside and they won't line up with the holes, and then you'll try to thread it in and it creates a lot of problems. So you just want to go straight down. See if you can get them started with your hand first. We're going to grab our screwdriver and we're going to evenly tighten all 4 screws. I would recommend going from one corner, going across to the other corner, and then make sure that the screws look straight, because if they're skewed or on an angle, you don't have it lined up correctly and you can actually crack your cover, so you got to be very careful with that. And that does it. We're all done. We replaced the filter, and like I said, on this vehicle there is no monitor to reset, but some vehicles do have that.